Hello, crew. How are you today? So what do you do when team members become unresponsive? They don't reply to your messages anymore, or they just, disappear or leave. It's the reality. If you are in a home-based business, direct sales, network marketing, MLM, all of the above, it's a reality that you will recruit people that just go into witness protection program and they're gone. It's just part of the process. So what I want to share with you today is 3 things that you should think about when this happens. So it's an evaluation process that you can go through when this happens. Is this real for any of you here listening live or on the replay? Do you have people that you've brought into your business that are no longer there? I certainly have. You always will, guys. To have an expectation that everyone is going to stay, I mean, wouldn't that be lovely? In an ideal world, that would be amazing. But for whatever reason, people don't stay. There's lots of reasons behind that. I'll share a little bit about the reasons sort of in a moment. But you really need to evaluate this in relation to if it happens in your business, what do you do? Okay. And I've got a little bonus tip for you at the end, which is a little bit strategic that you can do with these people, but I'll share that with you as well. So 3 sort of quick things that you can sort of think about when this happens, because whether you like it or not, maybe you haven't got a team member yet, guys. Maybe you're very new, you want to build on social media and that's why you're here. And you're listening to training and you're trying to upskill, in some ways regarding how to learn to recruit online. If you are recruiting in the cold market and or warm market, it's going to happen. You will recruit people and they will disappear. Just all part of the process, isn't it? So who can relate to that? Who's had that happen in their team? I'd love to know. So if we haven't met before, my name is Helen Martin. I'm your online crew captain, which means that I'm of service to our amazing online crew community here, full of entrepreneurs, home-based business owners, direct sellers, network marketing, MLM, and you want to build on social media with modern social media strategies and attract people to you. I build my business 100% online. So I know I don't necessarily want to build in the warm market. If it happens, and the right conversation comes up or identify a need, awesome. But predominantly building on, actually building 100% on social media. So that's what we talk about here. But if you are in a team, if you have a team, this is a very important discussion because you just have to accept that it is going to happen, that how you deal with it is up to you, okay? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So a couple of quick things. If you are in the online crew coaching community, I've just done a training. It was just 2 hours ago that I started that training, and that's about recruiting basics part 1. You want to go and listen to that training, coaching community members. Recruiting is one of the hardest things in this industry to do. Would you not agree, guys? It's one of the most difficult things to do, and there are certain things you need to know and accept and, have a recruiting funnel and learning about different personalities. There's some really cool stuff that I went through in that training. The replay is already sitting in the group. Go and watch that training, and then next week we'll go even deeper and have part 2. If any of you would like to join the coaching community and get that training and all my other training and all the things that I provide you every single week to build your business online, just go to helenmartinonline.com and look for the graphic that says join our coaching community. You can get in for $1, okay? Worth every penny just for the training that I did today, okay? Those of you in round 22 of my branding course, that live is in the branding group from yesterday. And what else did I want to tell you? Oh, tomorrow we have a very special training. So I've doubled up. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And it's like, oh, I've told them I'm going to do that on the same day. So what's happening tomorrow is I've got a very special training with people that I work closely with in their businesses. And we're going to talk about all things content creation. But it's going to be an hour and a half earlier than now. Okay, so tomorrow, live training, hour and a half earlier than I am now, with some special people, entrepreneurs that I work with, and we're going to share all our content creation ideas. You want to be on that training tomorrow, okay? So that means the day after, I will go through the personal profile review on screen, where I share my screen and I'll go through someone's personal profile. If you want your personal profile reviewed and you didn't put your name down yesterday on my live, let me know in the comments section so I can put your name in the hat. And next week, I will do the business one, the business page one. because I doubled up on what I said I was going to share with you tomorrow. Okay, so make sure you join us tomorrow, but an hour and a half earlier than we are right now. Okay, so let's check in who's here. We've got Crystal. Crystal's a life member. Great to see you on. Cherie, good morning. Debbie, in your part of the world. Hello, Ellen. Great to see you on. I was on your training earlier, but then lost internet. No worries. That's what the replays are for. Hello, Beth. Hello, Hadia. What a beautiful name, if I pronounced that correctly, hopefully. Hello, Laurie. Yes, it sure is. Recruiting is very hard. Yeah. No worries. That's what the replays are for, Brittany. So let's get into this discussion regarding what do you do when team members leave. So there's 3 things that I want you to think about. Number 1, evaluation of the situation. Check in with yourself. What happened? Is it something you did? Probably not. But you really need to evaluate. How were they brought in? What was it that you did or didn't do? Did you qualify them enough? Maybe they should have never have joined your team and they should have just been a customer because they were never going to do the work. That could be something that you can learn from. Evaluate the reason that you are in that situation with a team member. What could you do better? Was there potentially a part that you played in not setting that person up for success? Did you leave it too long between when they joined and when they officially got launched in the business? That is disastrous, because that's when the fear sets in for people. What am I need to go to do? What do I say? They're confused. They don't know all the things yet. You need to get that onto that quickly. As I mentioned, should they have even been in the business at all? Did you manage their expectations before they signed on the dotted line? Did they know what they had to do? Did they know that they have minimum commitments in the business? All of those kind of things. So the number 1 thing you want to do is evaluate your part in that. Okay? But here's the number 1 reason why people disappear or leave your team. It's because they don't think they can do it. The lack of self-belief kicks in. They're way too worried about what other people think about them. Like all that fear, kicks in. And that's the reason that a lot of people don't do the work that they know they need to do. Your number 1 focus with building in this industry is connections. The more people that you are connecting with in whatever way you want to do that, social media, traditional way, different platforms, from Facebook to Instagram to Snapchat to Clubhouse to TikTok, whatever it is that floats your boat, go for it. But as many connections as you can make is critical. People are scared to do that. They don't know what to say. You have to control that for them in the initial. Well, you can't control it because you can't control what people do, but you need to get into their head in the beginning and give them the confidence. And it's a proven fact in this industry that if somebody has a result really early on, they're hooked, they're in to a certain degree. So how quickly can you help the person get a result? How quickly can you set them up for success? Don't recruit them and just leave them on their own. All that fear creeps in. And then, if they do talk to someone, you haven't given them the skills or the words to use to talk to somebody. They said no. The next person said no. The next person said no, and they're done. It doesn't feel good. You know how the human brain works, because I talk about it all the time. Things that don't feel good, your brain tells you not to do. That could have been your new recruit. It doesn't feel good when people say no because you haven't given them the tools and the training to do it the right way. So all sorts of things to evaluate. So number 1 is evaluate. What was your part in that? Could you have done a better job? Could you have trained them a little bit more? Could you have given them a resource? Do you have a duplicatable system in your team? You absolutely want to plug your new people into a duplicatable system from word go, because it's not about you, it's about them. You may know what to do. You may have all the confidence in the world to keep recruiting and doing the things, but that brand new person that you brought on doesn't know what to do at all, doesn't know all the things they're about to experience, which is fear, negativity, noise, all the rest of it. So you've got to plug them into some kind of duplication training system to give them the confidence. You might have it, but they don't. So how do you give them the confidence that they know what they're doing and they've got a system to follow, those kind of things. So, did you plug them into those kind of things from word go? So just evaluate what your part in that was. But the number one reason that people leave is because of their own fears. It's got nothing to do with you for the most part. So if you can help them from word go with the right tools and training and things like that from word go, and you've got a duplicatable system in your team with a process to probably, okay, watch this video, then do that, here's the scripts, here's the tools, here's the, you've got all that for your team. Critically important. If you don't have those kind of resources for your team, create it yourself, because you need to set somebody up for success. Okay, so there's all sorts of reasons as to why somebody might not hang around anymore, but generally it's their own fears. So you've got to open that dialogue and help them, okay? But don't take the blame, because you can't be responsible for what somebody does and doesn't do. And that's an important part of your emotional power up here, is that you can't be disappointed for what somebody else does or doesn't do. I mean, you can be disappointed, obviously, because you thought somebody would be really good in your business and they're potentially not, but you can't take responsibility for that, okay? So 1, evaluate what your part in that was, if any, okay? 2, be the bigger person, and if somebody's not responding, not attending team trainings, not being plugged in at all, send them a message. Get on the front foot as a leader, as an upline, on a sponsor, and check in with your people and have the conversation. How are you going? What can I help you with? I noticed you've missed a couple of the trainings. Is everything okay? What can I do for you? Is everything okay in your world? Be a human before a marketer, like in your business. Care about your people. And don't just ghost people because they're not responding. Check in with them. If they don't respond, check in again. If they don't respond, break up with them. Send the breakup message with your own team member and say, whatever you want to say about the situation, and say, just let me know where you're at, because I don't want this to turn into a bad experience for you. All I want to do is help you benefit. But if for some reason, I've noticed, blah, blah, just let me know so I can meet you where you're at. And you might be re-managing expectations. Somebody might need to go and do what they need to go and do for a month, and then say, look, I just need space for a month, and then I'll come back. And then you diarize following that with a month. Be the bigger person and have a conversation. And if you need to send a breakup message to your own team members, do it. Don't have people sitting in your team that are just all floating around, and you got all this negative stuff going on. Well, they're not responding, they're not doing anything, and you've got all this negative energy hanging around you. Check in with your people and ask them where they're at, and if they're out, let them tell you that they're out, and let it go. So step 3, shift your energy to move on. Let people go if you need to let them go. It's okay. You can't want it for somebody when they don't want it for themselves, or their fears are that big that you can't break through. They're that worried about what other people think of them that they'll never make it in this business. If it is what is, okay, break up with them and move on. So here's the emotional trigger that happens. So you've got somebody in your team, you thought they'd be really good. They were really excited for the first 2 weeks. You thought, this is going to be amazing. They're going to be amazing. And everything's really exciting. And your energy's all up. And then things happen. And they don't show up on any of the trainings, and they're not even responding to your messages. Like, what the hell went wrong? You've got no idea. You're caught by surprise. Like somebody's just, they're out of there. So as a human being, what we do emotionally is attach disappointment to that person. So you think about that person and you get disappointed. Oh, it's such a shame. I thought they were going to be. So it's a real downer. When you think about that person, that's your emotional trigger. So it's a negative connection. What you really want to try to do with disengaged people or people that leave your team is you got to shift your energy when you think about them and move it towards something else. I was actually listening to a leader the other day talk about they had terrible success in their business for ages. Nothing was working. And then, and people were leaving, and so had that bad energy. And somebody said to her, when you think about that person, go and send 10 messages. Like just go and do some activity on social media, go and so shift your energy. So her thought process went from, that's really disappointing. What have I done wrong? Why can't I get any rock stars in my team? This is taking so much longer than I thought. Waste of energy, waste of energy, waste of thought process, waste of time thinking all those things. To as soon as they thought about that person, right, it was a different trigger when they thought about that person. Now, I'm not saying that's what you need to do, but manage your triggers when you think about somebody in your team that has either let you down or left, or you're disappointed with, or whatever it is. You will have emotional triggers to that particular human being. Change your trigger. You can waste a lot of energy in this business thinking about what could have been, or what went wrong, or why. Get the picture? Don't focus your energy on people that don't want it for themselves. So your third point here is move on, let them go, or change your trigger. So instead of being a disappointing trigger, what went wrong, all that kind of stuff, it's like, right, that's your trigger. Okay, what am I going to do today? And you trigger in a positive way and shift your energy. It's an absolute must, guys, because what I find in this industry is a lot of people do a lot of thinking. And I'm sure this is true for you at some stages in your business. You think a lot about what you should be doing. You think a lot about, the live videos you should be doing, or the content that you should be creating, or the people that you should be following up with, or how you need a new process for recruiting. Again, coaching community members, go and catch the replay of that training that I did in the coaching community just earlier. Okay. You need a recruiting process. So, what are you focusing on? Where are you putting your energy? All those kind of things. This is a tough industry. If anyone tells you it's easy, they're lying, because it's not. But you got to be in control here. And unfortunately, there are lots of people that come into this industry that are not meant to be in this industry. They don't have the right mindset for it. And honestly, it's not your company. It's not your products. It's not what you're offering. It's not that one thing is better than the other. You might be health and wellness. You might be crypto. You might be travel. You might be skincare. Who cares? Doesn't matter what you've got. It's people fail in this industry because of the thought of what they have to do, the fears of what, they have to say to people, the thought of, do I have to talk to my family and friends? All that kind of stuff is the main reasons why people don't stick with this in this industry. So if you recruit just one person, you have one person in your team. You have a responsibility to them, yes, but you can't control them. So do your absolute best in setting somebody up for success with a system and tools and things that they can follow along, and keep them accountable to you. Stay very close to them in the beginning, because the beginning is what makes or breaks somebody in this industry. If you leave them alone too long, all those fears kick in, all of those kind of things, they'll probably slide away and disappear. Now, some of you will be thinking, no one ever did that for me. I don't have it. And maybe some of you now, I don't have an upline. My upline doesn't support me. I never hear from them. They never check on me. There's no accountability or whatever. Sorry, but they're excuses. Be the bigger person and just get on with it and create your own stuff. You don't need somebody else to help you make you successful. It may be, it may give you a helping hand. Somebody might be able to teach you some new skills that you didn't know before, and you can learn a lot from somebody else, but you're the only one that makes it happen. It's the same people as when you recruit. You can give them everything as an upline, or you can have them, they could have nothing. There are people that come into this industry that don't have a supportive upline, and they're successful. It's because they didn't rely on anyone else. They just made it happen. So if you can recruit those people, awesome. Go and find those people. But for the most part, they won't be those people. But do your best. If you do have team members, and just one team member, you have a responsibility to them. But if they disappear and if they leave, it's predominantly not your fault. Okay? You are the only one that can make your business successful. Same with your recruits. They are the only people that can make themselves ultimately successful. But set them up for success. And again, if you weren't set up for success, don't use it as an excuse. Be the bigger person to go, well, I'm on my own. I'm going to make it happen. And just roll with it. Okay. So 1, evaluate the situation. Is there anything that you can learn from it? What can you do better if you're losing team members? The second thing is be the bigger person and communicate. Send the breakup message. Ask where somebody's at. Can you help them? What can you do? If they ghost you, then so follow up. But if they ghost you, send the breakup message and just find out where they're at. And if they don't even respond to that, you know where the situation is. And thirdly, let them go. Okay, shift your energy in relation to that person, the way you think about them, and move your energy into more positive things. Because you can waste a lot of energy in this industry thinking about people, thinking about processes, thinking about what you should be doing, thinking about how you want to be at that rank. And you want, and you're wasting all that energy thinking about it, and you're not doing anything. So it's the do that will help your new teammates or your recruits. It's the do that will help you. Okay, really, really important. Now, here's the bonus tip that I just want to finish off with. A little bit strategic, but for those of you that are on Facebook, you can put your disengaged. Maybe they're disengaged but not out. So they're disengaged, so they're not really even looking at anything. They're in their own little world. They're not even sort of looking at your stuff on social media too much. They're just away with the fairies a little bit. So they're not gone, but they're just, they're disengaged, basically. Let's just put it that way. Put your own people on a separate list on Facebook. You could even call your list disengaged team members and put them on a list. And drip feed them with very intentional posts about what's going on in your business. You never know. They may not be active, but they're always, people are always looking. And, if you keep following up, you're going to feel like you're stalking them. They're going to feel the pressure. So do it from a distance. If you've got really positive things to say about what's coming, what's going, and they're not listening, they're not in any of the team trainings, they're not engaged, but there's some exciting things going on that you want to let them know about, but they're not even answering you in Messenger. Put them on a list on Facebook if you're on Facebook. I guess if you're watching this video, you're on Facebook. And put them on a separate list. So you might have a few of them, and strategically put some posts in front of them about the exciting things that are coming up, about the people that are winning. And when it's on a list, it only goes to them. So as soon as they open their Facebook, guess what they see? Your post. It's only to the people on that list. So it's not going to all your friends and family, but you can drip feed to your non-engaged team members all the great things that are going on in the industry, in your business, in your team, and things like that. And when they see it enough, you never know how that might reinvigorate some people. Everybody's on their own timeline, guys. And the beautiful thing about this industry is that you can come in and out of it and recover. So things, life happens, and, things happen. And, sometimes somebody will be out for a few weeks and they're not active, or even a couple of months, or even 6 months. And then they come back into it. But if you're strategically drip feeding that, because you can't get them to answer your messages, they're not seeing any information because they're not on the team trainings, but maybe you could put some cool strategic posts once a week in front of that specific list to just keep them informed. But it's not direct, so you don't feel like you're hassling the person, but they're seeing what's going on. So if there is something there that they might want to reignite, that could help. Okay, so that's just a little bonus tip for those of you that are a little bit more strategic, is you can put your own people on a separate list in Facebook and put certain content in front of them to try to re-engage them. Okay, have any of you ever thought about that before? I'm really intrigued. Those of you that use Facebook lists, is that something that's ever crossed your mind? I'm curious. So any comments here? Thank you for asking, Cherie. It's still very sore. It doesn't help doing a lot of talking, which I've done for the last 2.5 hours, but it's getting a little better. Thank you for asking, Cherie. Hey, Jacinta, good to see you on. That's what a committed mindset is. Create a way and make it happen. when there seems to be no way. Make it happen. Yeah, don't use excuses. Your upline doesn't support you. You don't get enough training or whatever. Just go and make it happen for yourself. Because at the end of the day, even if you do have a supportive upline, they can't make it happen for you. You've got to do the work yourself. You're the one that always needs to be connecting with people. And if you're not having enough success in this business, you're probably just not connecting with enough people. So can it be exhausting? Yeah. Is it what you didn't want to do, spend all your time on social media and stuff like that? Yeah, I get it. That's where you get your planning. 15 minutes a day, 5 days a week, even if you take the weekends off, is better than nothing. So you can do really little things in small pockets of time and be really successful in this industry, but that's up to you. And that's what you can train new people as well. Okay? That's right, Ellen. They might be watching with you without you knowing, and that's what you want. I've never thought about that before. Thank you, Helen. No worries. No, but it sounds interesting. It's strategic and it's effective. So I hope you get something out of that. Evaluate, communicate, send up a breakup message if you need to. But more importantly, guys, just shift your energy and move on. Don't spend your time worrying about people that don't do the work. Go and shift your energy and go and find new people that do want it. Okay, that's up to you. You can dwell on things and get upset and all that kind of stuff, but that's just a waste of your time and energy, and you don't want to do that. So catch yourself. When you're having a moment and you're feeling disappointed about this industry and what's not going well and all the rest of it, check in with yourself and go, okay, pity party over. I've got to pick myself and move myself up here and change my energy into something that matters rather than wasting all my energy worrying about that person and what they are and aren't doing. Don't spend all your energy on people that are not doing anything or continuing to message them, and it's just draining you. Don't let people in your life drain you. Move on and spend your time with people that are positive and want it. And there's plenty of those, around, guys. Okay, so thank you for joining me here today. Remember, tomorrow, an hour and a half earlier with my Rockstar VIP students, and we're going to give you all things content creation. So join us tomorrow. It will be a little bit of a longer training, so just letting you know, but it'll be live, and therefore it's recorded immediately, so you can catch it after the fact as well. But it will be here on my page and in the free social media group as well. So catch you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye, guys.